just heading out of Broadus, Montana. Get her up, get the cruise going. So right now I have the helmet open, and doesn't seem too windy, at least from what I can hear at the moment. I'll close it up to if I'm gonna keep talking though. So guys, this part of the landscape is I can say pretty boring, but it's still pretty cool. We got some rolling hills now, much better than northern Montana and southern Alberta. It's just flatter than piss on a plate. But I noticed there's a lot of grazing going on in these lands here. Cattle everywhere. You see a cow seemingly out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. He's got to be a good half mile from the rest of them. See that guy up in the hill there? There's a couple more over there all by themselves. There's a lot of cattle in Montana, I'm thinking. So right now I'm heading out. Gonna head down to Devil's Tower and check that out. There's not much you can do when you're by yourself. I really don't want to leave the bike and go on a hike or anything like that. But I can tell you that 40-hour deal before really kicked the hell out of me. When I got into the hotel room, it was around, I want to say 9 o'clock, right around 8:39, and I've been awake by that time close to right around 40 hours, 42 hours, and yeah, I almost dropped the bike once because I was just so tired. I just couldn't handle it. So out of the 22 hours I was there, I slept for 14 of them. So I really needed to sleep. But I'm back in the saddle and on the road. Did a lot of stretching to try to loosen things up. I don't know why my ass is killing me, and I think it's just from the way my legs are spread and sitting on this beast. But it does ride nice. The engine noise, I don't know if it's extra engine noise or if it's just because I can't normally hear that on a Harley that's got big exhaust, because both my Harley and Ryan's Night Train are loud. So, and even on mine I can sort of hear it sometimes, like the injector tick or whatever, but on this thing I hear everything. I don't know if it's just because it's so quiet and it's got that factory header on it. So as you can see, it's a pretty flat go around here. So I will turn this back on when there's a little more something to see. So I'm just about to enter Wyoming. Had to stop and shed some clothing, and found out that this relatively flat piece of ground here is more of an angle than I can drag this machine backwards by sitting on it. Come to the conclusion it is way too heavy. So maybe all those times that Danny on the $1 Million Bogan there was quite legitimately stuck, because I can tell you these things are way heavy. I really hate not being able to see the GPS when it's talking to me, because it makes bad decisions. I'm telling you, it was getting way too hot with my gear I first put on this morning, because it was cool. It didn't take long to warm up. It says I'm supposed to make a left. I was under the understanding that this was a straight shot to where I'm going, but so I'm gonna have to stop and have a look at the map, or the GPS map. Like that's somebody's fucking driveway. Yeah, this thing suddenly wanted me to veer off down there, which there's a mailbox. It's literally somebody's driveway into the middle of their big old ranch, I have no doubt. And the stupid GPS trying to take me down there because it might be quicker. It's really nice having cruise control. I can't tell you how much my right hand is happy about that. I've done 24 hours straight on the thing with no cruise, and let me tell you, that is no fun. My shoulder and my hand get so cramped up. I just want to cruise. I'm not in any hurry to get anywhere. This is the way to ride it though. Do the country on 2-lane blacktops like this. You see a whole lot more. Mind you, when you're in a hurry to get where you're going, that interstate can't beat that when you can buzz along at 80 miles an hour. But when you're having a leisure day and you don't have to be anywhere, 2-laners like this are the cat's ass. I'm telling you, I keep moving my feet too far back on these floorboards, and my feet start getting a little warm next to that exhaust, or my foot does. I've already turned my shoe brown. Well, it doesn't get any more obvious where the road goes. But whoever built these roads, I like their way of thinking. As pretty as this is during the spring and summer, let me tell you, wintertime, the snow and the wind across these roads is nuts. I've driven through Wyoming when it was really nasty, and I'll tell you, it was no fun. I can't imagine what it's like out on these roads, because I was on the interstate. So this new helmet that I got on is literally killing me with the cheek pad width. It's so thick that it puts pressure on my face the whole time. It's getting pretty old, to be honest. And I had it on for way too many hours yesterday before finally getting the conk out in the morning there. This is some nice country. I can see why people live on these farms and ranches out here. It's got to be great. You can go out, set up a nice range in your backyard, go hunting, enjoy life without neighbors next door. Like, that's cool. That's Yellowstone Ranch, and it's for sale. Absolutely beautiful country. I don't know what the final gear ratio in this, but it sucks. It's way too high. Numerically low. It's got to be like, who needs the thing to run at 100 miles an hour? You can't. I'd rather it be easier on the bike getting to move and add some gear to it, and it still do 100. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure how people made it any further west than this, because I would have got here and thought, this is beautiful. I wouldn't have left. There it is, Devil's Tower. I can't believe people climb that thing. I remember the first time I ever saw that was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind when I was just a kid. Wow, is that cool. Could you imagine 1850, 1860s, and you're coming across here and see that? Would probably seem downright biblical. We'll go get a close-up. I'm not going to go right up to it. I'm just going to the entrance and get a couple pictures, and that will satisfy my curiosity, because I have no inclination for high places or to be in high places. It doesn't bother me on a plane, but if I was to stand on that thing, I'd probably shit myself. I was reluctant to take my coat off because I don't know this bike, and I don't trust this bike yet. Where if it was mine, I know it's not going to have any issues, or because I stay on top of everything. So now with this one, until I've been through the whole bike, I won't trust it. So if anything goes wrong, at least you got the leather on to save your ass. Looks better from the sunny side. all got some great clay. So I met a couple of young guys out touring on their Harleys from Ohio, heading all the way to Yellowstone. Nice to see the young guys out riding when they're young and can still have all the fun. I guess I can still have all the fun too, but they just left Sturgis, gave me a line on a really good camping spot. So we'll check that out. I'm gonna do all the touristy shit. Hopefully you can see the tower in there. Because you can see it plain as day out here. It's pretty cool. See the hills out there? Well, I'm sure we're gonna see a whole lot more hills because we're going to the Black Hills. Yeah, I gotta say, this thing gets up and goes. She's got decent power in that 110. Well, it's been a long day. 2 of the batteries pooched themselves from the heat. They no longer fit in. This one I had to pry it out of the camera. So today I burnt 2 batteries, broke my glasses. Quick recap of the day. Devil's Tower, pretty cool. I mostly went there for my buddy Josh. He's into rock climbing and everything. I thought he'd think it was cool. And what else? Then I took off through Spearfish into Sturgis to Sturgis Harley Davidson. I was kind of disappointed. They don't have motorcycles. They don't have a service department. It's strictly parts and accessories and clothing. That's it. And poker chips, you know, collectible kind of stuff. So I got the boys some poker chips. That's all they wanted. No shirts. I grabbed a shirt for myself. Right now I'm just going to redo my helmet setup and try to get set up for tomorrow so I can ride cool, but you guys get to see everything I see and hopefully be able to hear everything I put out, because I'm going to put the mic and only the mic in the helmet, and everything else is going to be on the bike. So I might have to stop by a mount somewhere if I can, but I'll get it figured out. So this is my campsite. I got my great Amazon tent, but it's awesome. Blew up, got an air mattress, I got my pillow, I got sleeping bag, I got, you name it, I got it in there. And I got an audiobook on my phone, fully charged. I should be good to go. The old girl's sitting over there, looking so natural in the wild. Well, maybe not. But I'm telling you, this is one of the best campgrounds I've ever been at. It's one, like, you know, it's hard to beat Canadian wilderness sites, crown sites, but for an actual organized state campground, this is pretty nice. There's not many, so you can hear those horns. That's on the highway going through the mountains. So it's not very far from here. So for today, I'm gonna shut her down and we'll see what tomorrow brings with Mount Rushmore and Needles Highway. I'm gonna do as many of them as I can tomorrow, but if I only do 3 and I feel like coming back here and crashing in, that's what I'm gonna do. And I got 2 or 3 days. I'm gonna stay 2 nights at this campsite. If I'm not all finished my riding, I'll get another campsite somewhere else, or maybe another one here. So last night got a hotel room, but tonight I wanted to camp the whole time, but I just couldn't find a campground that was open, and I was just too tired to carry on much further, so I had to get that sleep. So it's hard to believe it's Sunday already, So tomorrow, my original plan was to do a lot of riding today and tomorrow, but I didn't get there. So if I do it Monday and Tuesday and start heading for home Wednesday, I'm perfectly good with that. So, because I got Sunday night and Monday night here, and then ride Tuesday, find somewhere to shut her down, get up Wednesday, and haul ass home. So that's the plan, man.